Hola, mis amigos. Hope you're all doing well today. I'm Daryl. This is my beautiful wife,
Jennifer. Hola. What else am I supposed to say? I thought you were doing the introduction.
Today we're going to talk about our road trip to Chiapas. What an event that was. And while we're doing that, we're going to take a little drive to...
Where are we driving to? El Chiflon Waterfalls. Cascadas El Chiflon.
And also to...
Guatemala.
Guatemala, that's it. That's where we're going. Guatemala. Guatemala and El Chiflon Waterfalls. So we wanted to talk about the drive to Chiapas to begin with. It was one heck of an event. So it was. We were stuck on the side of a mountain for over 3 hours. And
It was bridge construction on the way to Chiapas. So a 12-hour drive turned into 15 hours. And we were all very cranky. I was actually sick. So I didn't eat anything for fear of what would happen once I ate. So that was 15 hours of no food.
yeah, 15 hours, no food. That's right. Oh my God. So when we did our road trip last year, we drove to the Caribbean and we went to Bacalar and we went to Mahual. And we never had no issues. It was actually a very peaceful drive. We only drove in the daylight. Went through one checkpoint and the police officer was more concerned about the dog, not to let him out in the park because there was a lot of wild animals and it could be dangerous for little Cece. Not dangerous for us, just for the dog. So, but the trip itself was very uneventful, I do believe.
And much shorter.
And much shorter, yes. So this road trip was, as Jennifer stated, 13 hours, which turned into 15 hours. But we drove through several states. As soon as we left Campeche, it got crazy. People were passing when there was oncoming traffic, and I'd never seen that before in my driving here at all. And we've only been here just over a year, and we drove around a fair bit, but mostly in the Yucatan and to Quintana Roo, that's it. Well, this time we were going through Campeche, we're going through Tabasco, and what other state, babe?
Yucatan, Campeche, Tabasco, and Chiapas.
Yeah. So it was crazy anyway. As soon as we left Campeche, it was like, oh my God, it's a free-for-all. And my first experience was I was driving along. Next thing you know, somebody, oncoming traffic, the guy pulls out and passes, and we're like going head on, and I'm like, oh my God. So luckily there's a shoulder like this much room, maybe a little bit bigger than that, but about half a car. So you could pull over and get out of their way because it was just non-stop of people doing that when we were driving. It was very, very nerve-wracking to say the least.
Kiru Paul calls it the invisible third lane.
The invisible third lane, yeah.
Everybody's got to move over so that they can pass in the middle.
It was crazy anyway, it really was. So, other than that, I mean, it wasn't too terribly bad, besides being stuck on the side of the mountain. And they don't recommend you drive at night, and I see why, because I'll never drive at night ever again here in Mexico. It's because of the potholes. You can't see the darn things. I think I'm going to buy a light bar. Yes, I'm going to buy a light bar for my car and mount it on the top so I could see the cows and the goats and the sheep and the dogs and the cats and the potholes. Thousands of potholes.
Which got worse when we left the Yucatan as well.
Yeah, the highways got worse when we left the Yucatan big time. It was a rough ride when it got dark, that's for sure. We slammed probably 4 or 5 good potholes, maybe 6, and we hit them pretty hard. So we slowed down to a more cautious speed sort of say. But it was still nerve-wracking with the potholes and not being able to see very well. And it was raining out as well. We hit rain for a
We
while.
were trying to get to San Cristóbal in time for Jorge to go to work that night. But because of that construction, that did not happen.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's why we were driving at night. Otherwise, we probably would have taken 2 days to get there. But Jorge did not have the day off, so you do what you have to do to get the job done. And we did everything we could, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, he didn't work that night. So I think it was 10 o'clock. We were supposed to arrive at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. And we ended up arriving at 10 p.m. So we were a few hours behind. Anyway, it was quite nerve-wracking, that's for sure.
Impressions of San Cristobal. First one was, it's cold. We arrived at night and it was cold. It's definitely cold in the mornings and in the evenings, but during the day when the sun's out, it's beautiful weather. You can go without a jacket. I think we wore long pants the whole time we were there. We weren't in flip-flops or anything. But it's beautiful, you know, during the daytime, sunlight hours. Our apartment was really cold, but, and they don't have furnaces here.
Yeah, no furnace.
So when it's 7 degrees, 10 degrees in the morning Celsius, you know, that's actually a pretty beautiful day in Canada in the winter. But try to do 7 to 10 degrees without a furnace. It's not such a nice day anymore.
Yeah, it was a little chilly.
Yeah, and the apartment itself never really warmed up, but we had nice warm blankets, so we slept comfortably. And we just, you know, had cozy slippers. They got me lamb chop slippers for Christmas. So
Yeah, luckily Jessica's mom had very nice, thick, warm bedding. It actually reminded me of the olden days at the cabin when you had the homemade quilts and comforters, because that's what she had, which was actually quite wonderful. So we were snug as a bug in a rug in the bed. But yeah, the apartment never did warm up at all, did it? It was cold in there all the
it
time.
was a very cold apartment.
Yeah.
CC had to wear a little sweater.
The whole time we were there, he wore a sweater, and so did we.
And Jessica bought him a cute little Mexican style hoodie. It was very cute.
Oh yeah, right. It was adorable. Yeah, yeah.
Other than that, I mean, other than the weather, let me say that Jessica's mother's hospitality was second to none. She's a wonderful, warm, giving, thoughtful woman.
Yeah, that warmed our hearts. So
Yeah.
our hearts were very warm. That's for sure. The whole time we were there,
We would go to the coffee shop every day for empanadas for
and
breakfast.
our stomachs were always full.
She
It was
made-
food nonstop.
Yeah, she made special meals for Jessica and Jorge, and we got to benefit from that. So, yeah.
Yeah, we were very blessed to be there. That's for sure. And it is absolutely a beautiful city. Highly recommend you go there. There in Chiapas, in San Cristobal, they don't allow any high rises. They want to keep it all colonial. So it's a colonial city. Very colorful, narrow, very, very narrow streets, all cobblestone. There is newer areas where it's not. I mean, there's a Walmart there. There's a Sam's Club there. Chedraui, yeah. But Chedraui is pretty common anyway. No Costco, but the Sam's Club and Walmart. So other than that, for as far as your big stores. But it's still very colonial, especially downtown. It's quite beautiful.
And it's full of bars, restaurants, souvenir shops, artisan, what do you call them, like farmers market type places. It was a wonderful street. We went there like every day. I think we went there.
Yeah, every day. It was a really, really nice place to go and sit and have cappuccino. You could sit outside. Just beautiful, beautiful restaurants, coffee shops, bistros.
During our time there, we also spent a couple of days in Chiapas de Corzo, which was not that far away, a half hour,
Yeah, about a half hour.
but
yeah.
down the mountain, so it was much warmer.
Yeah, quite a bit warmer.
Yeah. She has an Airbnb home there that she rents out, so we spent a couple of nights there. Beautiful property again. 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom with a huge yard and swimming pool. And from there it was closer to the capital of Tuxtla, and we went there a couple of times. We went to the mall, and we tried to do a few tours. Like you did this, I want to say
The canyon?
Canyon.
Yeah, I
that's
did the
word.
canyon with George.
Yeah, they didn't allow the dog, so I stayed back. But you waited like hours and hours to get on this boat, and then it was what, an hour or 2-hour boat ride?
Yeah, we waited over an hour to get on the boat for sure. We had to wait a while.
Yeah, at least a couple hours.
Yeah, it was busy. It was busy. It was over Christmas and it was super busy.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
another day we tried to go to a national park, like a national forest park kind of thing, but they wouldn't allow the dog.
Yeah. Inside the
It was
car.
outside.
Yeah, going into a park. Imagine, we're in the car driving into a national forest and national park. So that'd be no different than going into a big park in Canada, the USA, and them telling you you can't bring your dog in the park, national forest. I'm like, are you kidding me? I never heard of that before.
Yeah,
And they're like,
so-
no, we're not joking. You can't bring your dog into the park. So we
Yeah,
ended
so
up not
Chiapas
going.
was not very pet friendly at all.
We had a couple bad experiences with the dog there. So, yeah, it was
Yeah, but
kind of turns you off a little bit when you have your dog as our child, right? And there was quite a few places they did not allow him to go. And even the boat ride, I don't really understand that, because he would have just stayed in his little pouch and I would have held him, but the forest, I really didn't get that one. Well, sorry, I should say,
there was one park we went to that he was more than the caves.
yeah,
Caves he was welcome at.
yeah, the caves.
They didn't want him in the caves, but they let me in because he was in his pouch. So they didn't even really. They let me through with him, but
Yeah.
the rest, like outside the caves, he was completely welcome, and it'd be much like a day campground in Canada, the way they had it all set up.
Yeah, it was like a day campground, yeah, for sure.
There was playground for kids, a big slide, the caves, of course, and they had like fire pit areas where you could have a barbecue.
I did a video on it, babe. They seen it.
Oh. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. But anyways, Jessica's family noticed how upset I got about how, unpet friendly Chiapas was, and how I just didn't want to do things now, and because my dog wasn't allowed. So they talked to a doctor who then talked to me, and in the end, CC is now a certified emotional support animal.
So anyway, that's it. That's all. Thank you so much for following along with us today, my friends. We truly appreciate you all.
Adios, hasta luego. Like, comment, subscribe, share.
God bless everybody out there. Peace on earth.